everyone. Welcome to NCWiseOwl Overview of Resources and Databases. So let's get started. We will be using three main documents or places today, and you can see our what we'll be covering on the screen, and you'll find that at the bit.ly that is showing. That is bit.ly, all capitals, NCWO, get start. All capitals, NCWO, get start. So if I've not met you before, my name is Cynthia Sartain. I am at DPI. I'm the regional consultant for the North Central, and I also manage the NCWiseOwl initiative for the state. So we will go ahead and get started because there are so many things that we need to cover. Let's first of all look at our page with different resources that I've listed here that will help you get started learning about what all the different things that NCWiseOwl can help you with in your classroom, for your students, and also professionally. You'll see my email address there. It's important to point out to begin with. You are welcome to use this and email me directly if you have questions after this or at any time as you use NCWiseOwl. And there's also a Get Help form that you can use from this page, or also you'll find the same form on the NCWiseOwl page. And that form allows you to fill in and get help as you need. Of course, the website is listed here. www.ncwiseowl.org, and then the toolkit link is here, and that's also available on the website too. And it's important, if you are not at a school today, you will need the password to follow along, and the password is WiseOwl20, lowercase WiseOwl, and then 20, no spaces. So as we begin to look, first of all, the NCWiseOwl is divided up and into different sections and is available through a website. If you look at the page 2, if you scroll down, you'll also see that we mentioned that you can access NCWiseOwl through Canvas. We are also moving to put NCWiseOwl in NCEd Cloud, and that information will be out soon. The Canvas Britannica is already there. If you don't see it at your school, let us know, and we'll help get that going for you. And EBSCO will be available this in the summer 2021. It should be set up for you to use and get started with that. This will allow no need for the password if you're inside of Canvas. And as I mentioned, we're also moving to try to get it in NCEd Cloud, and that will be wonderful. You won't ever need a password. You'll just go through that or through Canvas. So looking at the page, you can see here that we have leveled the resources by elementary, middle, and high. There's a general reference page. Ebooks, there's over 40,000 ebooks, and actually many more than that if you go searching on different topics. And we have curated information from many different sources for ebooks. There are reference centers that are especially useful at the high school and some at middle. Also, we have listed the resources by subjects. There's a publication finder that allows you to search for different publications, and we'll look at that and look at some favorites that you could begin to use with your students. And then the for educators are different information that is good for you professionally. So let's just start at the top and look at the elementary school resources. You'll see that we have Britannica School available at the elementary level. We have Explore Elementary. These are Explore as general research. You can go in, put a topic overview, or you can also browse. There's K-8 ebooks. I believe there's over 15,000 now. Funk and Wagnall's encyclopedia is available. There's a fundamentals pre-K2 program that is wonderful for our K2 students. If you you as a teacher or a school library media coordinator can use NovaList K8 to look at different books, help students learn about what they might want to read. We've also linked NC Kids Digital Library in partnership with them. Is not through us, but you're able to click here and use local credentials to access those ebooks. We have an NC Resources page, copyright help for students. And we've taken the Britannica tools and broken those down so that you can go directly to each of those without having to go directly into Britannica. I'm clicking on the owl at the top to go back to the home page. Middle is very similar. You'll see we've added find publications. Different reference centers are available, and also the same with the kids digital library and copyright for students. The high school has even more because the reference centers are more geared toward high school, and you'll see that here. And we've also listed, again, some of the middle school in case those are needed. The general reference is, again, looking at the databases that are appropriate just to go out and do research on different topics. The ebooks are listed here. You can see the different topics that are covered. Also, Literary Reference Center is here because you can go to full text literary classics. And the best part of Literary Reference Center is you get plot summaries, critiques, author biographies, and other information that goes along with the classics. And I said, as before, we have listed the different, by different topics. If I go to Literature and Language Arts, you'll see all the databases and resources that would be helpful for literature and language arts teaching. You can see those here. And then publications. This is a database that can help us look at different periodicals. So let's just go ahead and get started looking on the publications. So if you want to go ahead and go here and look, I'm going to actually show you how this works by looking for a very popular search is Scholastic. The Scholastic publications are available for you to use without paying. Those are free here for you to use as a teacher and also as a student. The readers and different publications for students can be used and write in full PDF form for your students. For instance, we have Junior Scholastic. All you have to do is click on one of the databases that houses Junior Scholastic, and I can go over and get the latest, or I can go and use all the different other publications. So you'll see that you can bring up the different articles that are available. I'm going to click on PDF. And here you can see a Thirst for Ferrets, and this is easily shared with your students so that you can use it with them. This is not only viewable directly from the page, but you can go here on permalink and get this link and use it to either embed this resource in one of your assignments. You could email it to yourself. You can use it to send to students, however best fits your teaching situation. Please note that you must use the permalink, not the URL at the top. We're so accustomed to using the URL to send a link to a page or a website, but that won't work with the resources inside NCWiseOwl that are EBSCO related. If it's Britannica, I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But this, you want to use your permalink link over to the side. You'll either see it to the side or to the top. It's always the same for each of the resources. Also note that you can take this and click on Google Classrooms, and I can share this directly into Google Classrooms by choosing a class. You can see my NCWiseOwl classroom, and then I'm going to make it an assignment, and then I would click create assignment, and then I would find it in my setup for my Google Classrooms for this particular classroom that I have set up. Or of course you may have more than one set up for your teaching specific teaching area. You'll also see that this can be directly sent Google Drive. You can directly send it there. You can download the PDF over. I'm all the way up at the top now. I'm just going to show how that works. It's going to come up and like it looks familiar. You're going to go to the down arrow, and now I can download this. Of course, you want to name it, and then you can have this resource to share, and you don't have to worry. You are not breaking copyright by doing that. The copyright allows us to have you do this. All right, so that is just one of thousands of different periodicals that are available if you search through the full text finder. So I'm going to go back out to the main NCWiseOwl page. And I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to show some of the resources through the middle school page. First, let's look at Britannica. As again, the password is WiseOwl20. And you can see sometimes this comes up and you have to pick the level again. Especially if you're remote. It should not do that if you're at school, but you can see that Britannica has a great deal of different ways to find information. You can do a keyword search in the articles. You can do the same with images and videos. You can go find biographies. The at a glance gives information that students may just want to go and read. They love to read and explore. If they go here, they're going to get more high interest articles. The Did You Know is great for your classroom for starters or different uses that you might find for this. There's a daily buzzword. Then there's a Can You Guess? This allows helps students learn to find information. Then there are tools that can be used for different areas. The Compare Countries. There's a World Atlas. There are different recommended U.S. primary sources that can get students and educators started using primary sources in the classroom. These are just suggestions to get started. Some new articles that have just been added or revised. So you can see there is a lot that can be used in Britannica. So let's go all the way back up to articles. Let's just see how it looks when I go to this page. You can see that you can do a search at the top, or you can browse. And browse is really useful if a student has been asked to do research and they've got a broad topic and they can't narrow it down. and they can come here and learn how to look and browse for information. I'm going to go to Science and Mathematics for example. Then you can see that there are different topics inside of this. But if you see here that there is displaying 500 different articles that are browsable, I can go to mathematics. Algebra. I'm going to go back. Oh, it put me all the way back. Hang on. Let's go back. So I'm going to go down and see what a student might find if they click Science and Mathematics in the middle school. So I'm going to choose acclimatization. That's a big word for us today. So what if a student gets here and they can't pronounce that? So this is a good way to remind you that there are read alouds. I'm not going to have it do read aloud because sometimes we get a bad echo and it's not very pleasant. But please remember that all articles in Britannica and Explorer have read aloud and they all look the same. You're going to go to listen and it will start reading for the student. Also, Britannica levels their resources. This is a level 2. It can be stepped up for a level 3, which gives the student a little bit higher level reading article. If there are images and videos that come along with this, looks like there's not, but if there were, then we would get those here, and then we'll get related information to this topic. So also note that over to the side, you're going to get primary sources and ebooks and best websites that come along. So I'm going to go back and get yet another article that we can look at together just for practice, and you may want to do this along too. So let's look at Africa. You can see the different levels, as I mentioned. You can favorite this. You can send it here, which gives you a link. You can get the citation. You can get a language translation. It uses Google to translate the article for your students that may need this. The read aloud here, and also I can font up and down here. Also remember, I can get images and videos that come along with the topic Africa, and we have many that goes along with this. There's teacher resources. You can see the different standards that are related. And if I click the related button, I should get the primary sources and ebooks, and we have 14 that have been curated and recommended by Britannica, and then also websites that are curated and recommended by Britannica. So you can see those 3 sites. So now let's go back out to the web page, the middle school page again, and let's look at Explorer. We're not going to get to look at all of this today, but we're going to get started. So Explorer is a research database that is also browsable by topic. You can see the topics here, or you can go and do a keyword search. So let's do frogs. I'm going to do a keyword on this one, and I can see that I am getting, first of all, a topic overview, which is very helpful so students can get information that is general. It's also very good for your content for your classroom. remembering your permalink. This will get it gets you straight back to this information without you can send it, like I said, you can embed it in your assignments, send it in an email, put it on a web page, however you would like to use that. Put it in Google Drive, Google Classroom. And again, sometimes you can download, so look for that PDF download when that's available. I can listen here. I can translate, choose the language that I want. Here you can see information that we have about frogs. And of course, we know that this is general, and we have some pictures that come along with it. And then the citations and references at the bottom. You can also do an advanced search and see your search history at the top. I also have an ebook recommendation about frogs. And you could also find that by searching in the ebook database. Looks like we have lots of ebooks. I have a Funkin' Wagnalls encyclopedia that you could have also searched directly from the icon that you just saw. And here again, we have nice pictures. All of these are usable by you, no copyright violation. And here's the information, again, that you can get your permalink and share out. All right. Again, I'm going to go back to the web page. I know I'm moving fast. Here's the K-8 eBooks collection. And here you will see there in the K-8, there's over 15,000 books, and the topics are browsable over to the side. Or again, you can just do a keyword. One that I love is The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The series is here for you to use. These are unlimited checkout. So if you want to use this with all the fourth graders in your school, that is not a problem. Or if you want to use it for 6, it doesn't matter. Every fourth grader in a whole school district. It is, I say that like that to make, because it's sometimes folks have a hard time believing that everyone can use it and there's no limit, because most of the time ebooks have a limit. So let's look at this top one. And I picked one. That's not the one I meant to get. I want to get a Wimpy Kid book. Here we go. That's about the books. Here's the series, book 12. You can see here I can read it online. Some of these are downloadable, but this one is not. But you can download it by chapters, and you can see that over here. Each of the books will be different about how you can download them and use them. Each as according to their copyright. This one's not as generous because these are very popular books, but you can see here we can read it. You can read it with your students or have them read it on their own. It's the different pages coming up. Please note you can use a permalink again. You can embed this book in Google Classrooms, send it to Drive. You can get your citation as needed. And here I'm allowed to save pages. So there you go. That's how the ebooks work. And again, like I said, you're going to get different ebooks, the different options for download and reading according to the copyright. So here I'm going to just do a search for coding. And you'll find that there are books for teachers also. If you here's a coding basics book, Coding with Scratch Junior. There are videos and pictures that come along with this topic. You can see the different. So this is a PDF full text. So now let's look at see how a PDF looks. All right, so get it. Ready, set, code. Coding with Python. So if you want to have your students or you want to learn about how to do this coding, you can use this book, or you can have your students do it. You'll have some students that might even want to do this. Of course, we have coding events in our schools. So if you see here at the side, you can see the different, you can go by chapter. This is not giving us a download by chapter. Again, it's by copyright, but this is where you're going to find it. It's going to have a down arrow if you can download it by chapter. That's really important for some students for remote learning if they don't have good access at home. So this again allows you to see how to use the ebooks. I just scratched the surface. Again, there's 15,000 for K-8 and high school. There are over 11,000. So I'm going to go back again, and we've already looked at publications, and there are many reference centers, and we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. The high school page is similar. The Academic Search Complete is available. Please know that Academic Search Complete is for higher level coursework. We do not recommend general searching for research using Academic Search Complete. Please use the High School Explorer for this, as well as Britannica and the Encyclopedia. You'll see here that the high school page has the reference centers listed that can be used also. So I'm going to go back to the main page again, and we're going to look at reference centers. Reference centers are an awesome tool, especially at the high school level. A couple are appropriate for middle school. The Biography Reference Center is definitely, as well as Literary Reference Center. But I want to go and let's look at the History Reference Center. This is most likely would be used for high school only, but if you have a use for that at the middle school, it's a great resource. But you can see that this is information that you could find using Explorer, but this great interface is great for use in your classroom as you teach U.S. history and world history. And you can see popular sources are here. That gives you folks an idea of what can be found. So if I go to the Cold War book at the bottom, you'll see the different volumes that are available to use in your classroom. That's just one example. Looks like there's 193 results for the Cold War. The U.S. history, if I click here, each of the U.S. and world history are divided in the different time frames in the accompanying descriptions. So if I go to Depression and the New Deal, again, it's still further subcategories. So I want to look at the Dust Bowl. So I'm going to see all the resources available if we are talking about the Dust Bowl in the classroom, or that is a research topic that a student might be exploring. You can see that there are 26 different articles that can be used that pertain to the Dust Bowl. And they come up, and these again would be found in Explorer, but not quite as graphically, and it makes finding information a whole lot easier for your students as well as for you as a teacher. So there is an academic journal here that talks about the Dust Bowl. You can find, I'm going to go to the PDF, and it's going to show the article. And you can see it's 32 pages, and this is downloadable. Always look for your down arrow. If you want to download it, you can find it as a teacher and then share it with your students, and they can use it. You can use it in which manner you would like. Again, this is just one of the many topics that can be explored and the different way to use reference centers. So I'm back again at the Reference Center page. We'll take a quick look at the Biography Reference Center. This is very popular. Black History Month was used. I could see our usage go way up. It is a great resource for any kind of research with biographies. You can see that popular ones here that have been researched are coming up here. You can go by genre. I can go and look at actors, and then you'll see a long list of actors. You cannot search on this page, but you can definitely search on this page. And if I just do a general search for Smith, you can see how it auto-populated. And I can see there are 601 with the last name Smith. But if I bring up this British actress, you can see the information that's available about her. There are current biographies that can be, as well as through history and time. And you even can search by detail, concise, interviews, and you can also find obituaries and related articles. So there's lots of ways for a student or educator to research through the Biography Reference Center. And we will look, the Science Reference Center is very similar to the History Reference Center. I'll just quickly show you that it is divided by the different sciences. If I go to Earth Sciences, then I have subtopics, and I can go learn about blizzards. And here you can see we have 19 very specific articles about blizzards. This makes finding information very easy, as I said before. And then the Literary Reference Center, we can find full text classics, as well as information about authors, critiques, plot summaries. If I go here and I can search for, I'll look Anna Green Gables. There's lots of accompanying video for that too in other sources. So this is a popular one. I can read the original. Find it here. You can see the book. It's going to come up, and I believe this will be that you can download and share with your students. That's just a brief look at that reference center. The Points of View Reference Center is very popular at the high school level. There are topics that serve for debate and having students learn how to look at things and critique and talk about different subjects that even could be said to be controversial, but this is a good way to focus that and look at the different topics that can be debated and used in the classroom for this approach. So you can see here the different categories and topics. And for time's sake, I'm just going to introduce you to the source, and if that is appropriate for your classroom, you can go back and see what is offered through this reference center. It is probably the most popular reference center when we look at our reports back about usage. So now I have only scratched the surface to show you what you might use in your classroom. I hope you can go back and look, but before we leave this session, we have to go look at the toolkit. You can get to the toolkit by this link. All I have to do is click toolkit. It's on every page at the lower right corner. We have the toolkit. And you can see the different areas that are available, the different sections. You can get instructional support. There are tutorials and guides. There's a professional learning with webinars such as this one, that sessions that are recorded and you can listen to even more. There's a section about ebooks, all the tutorials and information about those. The different databases and how to use them, how to do Google Classrooms, how to share. Remember that permalink. If you forget about it, you can go right here and get tutorials, video, as well as guides, PDF guides. There are promotional materials that are very popular with School Library Media, and you could also use those as teachers. There's the copyright support pages. There's also an index that shows you everything that's here in a list. Because it just has grown and grown, the index might help you directly find what you're looking for more easily. The technical support page. And then before we look further, I want to make sure you know that you can join an updates list by going here and following the instructions, and it will sign you up to be on a mailing list through a Google group. You might get information every week, couple of weeks, or if we have an issue that comes up, it's a great way to let you know that, hey, we're having trouble with ebooks loading today, and we're just letting you know that, or letting you know that something new is coming out if there's an update. But it's a great way to get information. If you have trouble signing up, just email me directly using my email address on the first document that I showed you. So let's go back and let's just look just a moment at the toolkit information. If you go to the instructional support page, you'll see that we have information directly related to the two different vendors, Britannica and EBSCO. And you'll see also that there are targeted pages that address different areas, individualized learning, the assistive technologies, a focus on STEAM and STEM, a focus on CTE. How can this be used in those areas? Of course, ebooks and Google Classrooms and the different others that are listed here. The tutorials and guides, a lot of these, if I click here, for instance, on the top, you're going to go to a list. And these are vendor provided tutorials, and you can see there are many that are available by the vendor, and they go out to their website, and you can look at these. And you can remember, this can be shared with students. If you want students to learn how to create a note, you can see the tutorial right here, and you can use this and send either do it along with them or send it to them to do on their own. And you can also see the targeted areas for tutorials and guides. I can go to reference centers, and there is a slide deck that addresses all the different reference centers. There's information here about how it relates, and you can see the different ones. There's descriptions for each. There are embedded tutorials for each. There's also lists. If you want to know all of the books that are available in the Science Reference Center, you can go here to get that. And also the tutorials are listed again. And it goes on all the different reference centers. If you want to learn more about the publication finder, remember that's where we looked at the Scholastic products. You can use this. There's also a bit.ly at the top that takes you straight to this. And also there's other tutorials from the vendor that's here that you can use to learn more about Publication Finder. If you want your students to use it, why not send them to this tutorial? Make it much easier. And then you can see the others. We won't go to each of these, but again, it's addressing the different topics. The professional learning page, you're going to be able to find this presentation here later also. You can see the different links out to our recorded sessions right here, as well as recorded sessions through Britannica and EBSCO vendor provided. But I'll go here and look, and you'll see the recorded sessions that we've been doing, the different conferences, and you can see that all of these are listed here, and there'll be many more listed as we go along, and you can find them either by the conference or by topic. And also you'll see here ebooks and publications that address different professional learning topics that you may have. For instance, if you want to look and learn more about reading literacy, you can actually click the ebooks and find all the books that are available for free of charge for you to use about reading literacy and the other topics. There's many books that are used in graduate courses if you're doing that now, and you can use those free of charge coming from NCWiseOwl. All right, we'll go back again. You'll see there is the ebooks page. This is one of your challenges on your first page. This chart allows you to actually download the Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet that allows you to see all the ebooks that are in the K-8, the high school collection, as well as the 11,165 literary classics that are available for you to use. And remember, those come with teaching materials along with that. And here is a presentation about ebooks. And this is a webinar that Miss Kathy Parker did about ebooks. That's here if you'd like to come and listen and watch as she talks about those. So this is all about ebooks. Again, the resources and databases, all the different types of resources. There are tutorials for each of those here. Again, if you want to learn more about Google Classrooms, the Britannica Google Classrooms is, we didn't talk about that, but the tutorial is here for you to use. You can see that you can watch that, and then how to do that in the EBSCO products. And it's easy to remember, everything on NCWiseOwl is EBSCO except Britannica, so that makes it a little easier when mention EBSCO. And here's about the ebooks and how to do the Google Drive with ebooks. And then the sharing, remember the permalink. You can see here how to do linking. And I mentioned linking for Britannica. You can see how to do the share resources in Britannica. It's a little different. And there's either a PDF or watch the video. And then other how to do permalinking with EBSCO products. That's here for you. If you have trouble with permalinks, you can see a guide here how to troubleshoot if you're getting an error. Most often with the permalink and the EBSCO products, most often the issue is you have shared the URL, which is so easy to do because that's how we do it usually when we share information from a web page, but you have to use the permalink. And then Britannica will allow you to use a URL, which makes it a little confusing, but the resource pack is the better way to do that. But URLs will work in Britannica, but you must be logged in first for that to happen. Otherwise, you'll get an error. So it takes a little bit of practice, and then you'll be able to share how to do that with your students with Britannica and the URL if you'd like to do it like that. The copyright support I'll mention quickly. This is a page that is updated frequently by Ms. Kathy Parker, our school library media consultant, and she has lots of information here that for educators and students. There's links out to the different resources that makes dealing with copyright yourself, and then also helping your students do that a little bit easier. And then I mentioned the index, and you can see here all the pages that are available. You can see, might be able to see those a little bit easier if you're more of a linear looker. And then the technical support. This is more mainly for folks that are dealing with your setup, your firewall at your school or district. And again, that mailing updates list. Now, I know I said a lot of different, a lot of stuff today. There's a lot of information here. So I encourage you to go back to your first page that I shared, and you'll see that I have listed some targeted presentations and pages that you might start with those to get started. Make sure you join that mailing list, and the direct link is listed there. But there's some challenges here. If you're at the high school or middle school, learn how to use one of those reference centers for your subjects. If you're at elementary, go back and learn more about Britannica. Again, just find something to get started, and you'll don't try to do all of this at once. And then for everyone, go back and learn more about ebooks, see what you can use, what's available for your students. So there's just lots of information, but just pick one place to get started. I hope this has been helpful. I'll mention again, my contact information is at the top. You can also find information at the hashtag NCWiseOwl. That's listed at the top. But thank you very much for listening to All About NCWiseOwl. Thank you.